Okay, next we have James McClure, who is running in 71. There you go, James.
Thank you, Fanny. I want to thank the CCWR for having this event. It's always a great time. The ladies always have a quality event, and they always do the absolute most for the Republicans here. As I always begin all my talks, all lives matter. I thought for a while about what I was going to say today. Most of you probably know who I am. I'll start with a really quick bio. Again, my name is James R. McClure Jr. I'm running for House seat District 71. I'm a lifelong resident of Clarksville, minus my time in service. I'm a United States Air Force and United States Navy veteran. I served in Iraq in 2005. I have a lovely wife, Teresa. We've been married 32 years. I have 4 children. Okay, now you all know the easy parts. The reason I'm running, and I'm going to go back to that famous saying, you danced with the girl who brought you, is because that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I am running for office to protect your liberty. Our government is too big, and it intrudes in our lives too much. The example I want to use, I want to segue off of what Zach said. He's a great representative. I agree with basically everything he said, and if you want another Zach Payne in Indianapolis, you're looking at him. I can beat his record as far as conservative votes. I want to draw your attention to the fact that even though the state has prevented the mutilation of young children and has prevented boys from participating in girls' sports, we still have issues that need to be addressed. I want to draw your attention to the Cox family from Anderson. They had their son taken away from them because he was groomed to believe he was a girl. CPS went in there, they investigated, they found no maltreatment of the child, and yet they took the child away anyway. This is government overreach of the worst kind, and we as Republicans cannot stand for this. I believe that this needs to be taken care of at the state level, that we need to have laws that prevent this. Someone spoke about being a Second Amendment supporter. I carry all the time. I believe the Second Amendment, again, is absolute. You have a right to self-defense that God gave you. I also believe that we need to reduce the overreach of the government with response to what happened 2 years ago. Our governor acted tyrannically. I'll say it. I don't care if it makes me unpopular among some Republicans. Had I been in office, I would have demanded that the governor call us in a special session so we could break the unconstitutional quarantines he was putting on us. They violated the state constitution and the federal constitution. I'm going to get a little weeds. IC 1014-3, the law that he used to exercise these extra constitutional authorities, is blatantly unconstitutional and must be struck down. It will be one of the first things I do once elected, is to move a bill to remove it from the law. The governor nor the state should have any control over how you lead your lives, how you choose to worship, how you work. These are critically important issues. I do want to see your taxes adjusted. I do want to see the size and scope of the government reduced. I'm looking forward to working with our great Senator, Mr. Garten, in trimming down the fat out of our government, making it more efficient. The government is here to serve you, and as your elected officials, it is our job as your servants to be good stewards of that money, to spend it as efficiently as we possibly can. I'm looking forward to your support and your vote. And as a political dissident, along with the future President of the United States, Donald Trump, I'll say, let's go, Brandon.
And now, last but not least, we have Scott Hawkins. Should I say history teacher? What do you teach? Government? And he ought to know a little something about government.
One would hope. Hey, thank you so much for being here this morning. Seeing in action what this process should be is good. And what I mean by that is success isn't final, failure isn't final. This is an ongoing process. a battle of ideas against the other side that doesn't sleep. And we have to, as like-minded individuals, have to be ready for that fight. And that's what it is. It is a fight. And just because you win an election, it doesn't end. And just because you lose an election, it doesn't end. There's always a battle. And people like you are the ones who are going to make our side victorious. It isn't the people that come up here behind this, because if they never get the chance, nothing gets done. It's not the country that you want if you don't become active. Okay, so with that, I'm Scott Hawkins. I'm kind of a unicorn in a way, or a Bigfoot, however you want to look at it, because I am a very conservative public school teacher, and I have been for almost 30 years. Brief bio, I'm married to my lovely wife, Kimberly, and she's, of course, the one that's famous in our family because she owns a hair salon for 25 years. And we got 2 grown boys now. My youngest one just accepted. He just graduated from college in May, and he just accepted his first real boy job. So no more tuition checks, everybody. Yeah. And, you know, we've been blessed to live in Southern Indiana. I've lived here my whole life, and a single mom. A lot of people stepped up, a lot of family and friends. Grew up in the trailer park, Silver Lakes Drive, if you know where Silver Lakes is. And I've led this just blessed existence to live in Southern Indiana. We have traveled far and wide. We've been to all 50 states. Travel's been a big part of our life, and I just can't find anywhere that I'd rather be. And it's because of the people that live in Southern Indiana, and some of you are sitting in this room. So I think the only 2 questions people have is, what have you done? And then what are you going to do? And then people can believe you or not based on what your past was. And I've been a city councilman now for 8 years. I've been president of economic redevelopment in Jeffersonville. And Jeffersonville's been going in the right direction. And that's because of the city council. I'll go ahead and flat say it. And the mayor. If we would have had a different mayor, we wouldn't have been that way. We have healthy funds in every account. I don't know how many thousands of new jobs, new police officers. We're thinking about a new fire station now. We have managed the city's finances well. And that's the number 1 job for any legislative body, is you do the budget. So I give us an A, I give us an A. And then, so what do I want to do? So you can look into my history. I'll be happy to answer any questions about that. But then really the important question is, what do you want to do? And my biggest thing is centers around kids and families. As a school teacher, I know that school choice is important. It's crucial, because not every kid has the same answer. I'm not going to reach every kid in my classroom, even though I try. Another teacher isn't going to reach every kid. Some of them need a different environment, and that depends on the kid, on what that looks like. So that's why I'm very passionate about it. Even though I'm a public school teacher, I'm very passionate about school choice. I'm also very passionate about parents being able to dictate what goes into their child, both physically and what goes into their child mentally. And this whole idea that we're, as James spoke about, the state moving in and trying to take kids away because you won't go along with the gender ideology. That, to me, that doesn't happen in the United States. It certainly shouldn't happen in Indiana. So we have the center of the family, as the family has been kind of, I don't want to say the word attacked, but the family has been attacked. The nuclear family has been attacked over time. And we need to put in guardrails to make sure that stops, because that is the most important institution in the history of human beings. A mom, a dad, loving parents. Maybe we'll replace mom and dad with loving parents who get to make the decisions for their children. That is what I'm going there for, is to put the decisions with you and not the government. Okay, and then of course you have all the other issues we've talked about. I think we all probably agree. I'm a proud defender of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment wasn't for hunters; it was to protect you from an overreaching government, and that's what it was for. That's what I teach my kids in class. I teach government, by the way, to seniors, and so that's what I teach my kids in class. It's like, this isn't about you going out and shooting a deer. It's about, when in history has government been given tyrannical power and not acted on it? And it's pretty easy to see it hasn't. So the Second Amendment is something that's powerful. All those, if you want to call them red meat issues, Republicans share, I share all of them. I think the difference is I have had to fight that battle in hostile territory for 28 years as a teacher and as a city councilman, and I'll just continue that battle as we move along and get to the state. So I thank you all for being here, and whoever you support for whatever office, get out there and work for them, because if they don't win, it don't matter. All right, thank you.